From South Carolina Public Radio, this is Who, What, When, an hour of history, games, and trivia. I'm Daniel Thompson.
And I'm Brandon Gray. Ta-ta and toodaloo. Today on the show, we are heading all the way back to the 1800s and the time of Queen Victoria.
Pip, pip, and cheerio to you, Brand. Coming up, we're going to test your knowledge of the Victorian era. See if you can decode some of the more interesting slang people used during the time and make a connection between the poetry of the Victoria era in the 1800s and the work of pop megastar Taylor Swift. Maybe you've heard of her.
And we don't have any bad blood. If you want to be a contestant here on Who Will Win, all you got to do is call 803-470-6347, or you can send us an electronic mail to whowhatwin@scpublicradio.org.
So much ahead on Who, What, When, the Victorian Era edition. But first, the latest news from NPR. From South Carolina Public Radio, this is Who, What, When, an hour of history, games, and trivia. I'm Daniel Thompson.
And I'm Brandon Gray. My friends call me Brando. Today on the show, we're traveling back to my favorite, the Victorian era.
You can't even spell it, but coming up, we're going to take a crack at decoding some of the interesting language from the era, quiz our contestants on their general Victorian era knowledge, and see how poetry from the 1800s overlaps with the songs of a certain modern-day pop star by the name of Taylor.
That's right. If you want to be a contestant of Who, What, When, we'd love to have you. All you got to do is call our number. It's 803-470-6347, or you can send us an email if you'd rather do that to whowhatwhen@scpublicradio.org. And you'll have a chance at the Who, What, When fanny pack. That's right, everybody. The winner of today's game is going to get a fanny pack.
Yeah.
And, of course, the weekly title of the Who, What, When champion.
I mean, both great things,
I
Brandon.
know.
And we're talking about the Victorian era today.
Yes, the Victorian era. I, of course, know all about it, Dan, but I'll let you explain it to anybody who's listening that's maybe not as aware as I am about what this whole era is all about.
Thanks so much, Brand, for giving me that honor. And nobody knows the Victorian era like you. I would never take that title from
I'm
you.
always in my Victorian era.
As you know, this era is from roughly 1840 to 1900, when Queen Victoria was ruling the United Kingdom. It's when the British Empire became a major economic and industrial power with coal and iron. It was a revolutionary time for the arts and the sciences. It's also known for being a pretty reserved era and having some problems around class and gender, but we really won't get into much of that today.
That's right. This is a positive program here at Who, What, When.
That's right. We have a lot of famous literature to come out during this time, and the style of the era is really well known.
I hear that's actually making a comeback.
You hear it's making a comeback?
Yeah, it's coming back in style.
The word on the street is that the Victorian era style is making a comeback. Interesting. You know, I did think that the giant ornate hat you were wearing today was ridiculous, but I wasn't going to say anything, but now it makes a lot more sense.
I'm telling Dan, it's coming back.
That you could barely fit through the door with that hat on.
It's coming back. They'll make the doors bigger if we all commit to the hats.
All right, commit to the hat, commit to bigger doors. Should we get to our first game?
I think we should.
Fantastic. Well, you know, here at South Carolina Public Radio, we have the legendary Dr. Walter Edgar.
Walt the Edge.
Wally Edge, as I call him, South Carolina historian and host of Walter Edgar's Journal. And he helps educate us and helps educate our listeners about history. And he's going to give us a hand with our first game today, which we're calling Slanguage Arts with Walter Edgar.
I love it. I love it.
Brandon, the Victorian era had a very specific style of speaking, and there's some very particular slang that was used then that can sound a bit strange to modern ears. It's really gone out of style. Hopefully, like your hat, we can bring it back.
And I got to be honest with you, that's part of the reason why I love the Victorian era, because you have been telling me that I have a certain way of speaking. Often you say that it is wrong, but I have been trying to tell you that it's slang, that it is just kind of a thing I'm trying out. You don't think I'm allowed to do that. And all I'm saying is I'm very excited about the game today.
Kind of hard to hear you with that hat on, buddy, but I do understand what you're trying to say. Let's get to the callers, shall we?
I think we shall. Join in on our games here at Who, What, When by giving us a call at 803-470-6347. Once again, it's 803-470-6347. See how I did it that time? And we have our first contestant on the line right now. Caller number one. What's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Angela. I am from West Lafayette, Indiana.
Ooh, Indiana, West Lafayette. Angela, thanks for joining us today. Are you excited about a little Victorian era trivia?
I mean, bring it on.
Who is going to be Angela's competition, you might be asking? Caller number 2, what's your name? Where are you from?
My name's Doug, and I am from Northern Kentucky.
Northern Kentucky, so close to Indiana.
Wow.
Man, you think Kentucky-Indiana basketball is something. This is really for all the marbles.
That's right. You are playing for a Who, What, When fanny pack,
The
and
vaunted
I
fanny pack.
would like to paint a picture for you. It is
Hand-stitched.
It is hand-stitched by me. This week, we're doing orange and gray. It's a very nice color palette, and I think when you get it, you're going to be like, boy, oh boy, this was worth my time.
Are we ready? We're going to start with Angela. The first question is going to be yours. Are you ready to go?
I'm ready.
Here we go. Wally Edge, take it away.
This style of facial hair was fully goated. What did the Victorians call a goatee? And by that, we mean a mustache that connects to hair on the chin. A, giggle mug. B, door knocker. C, dude man chew.
Oh, wow. Great options, I think.
Giggle mug, door knocker, dude man chew are our 3 options. Angela, what's speaking to you there?
Well, I don't think C. That just seems dumb.
You don't think in the Victorian era they called it a dude man chew? What?
I just don't think they did.
And also, just by the way, if it isn't true, you just called it dumb. We wrote that, assuming it's not real.
If it's not real,
just
one of us wrote it.
remember, we have feelings.
That's right.
Please.
It's dumb in the best way.
In the best way. Nice recovery there, Angela. So what are you thinking?
I guess maybe I'll go with B, just because giggle seems weird. So, not that door knocker doesn't, but I'm going to go with B.
She's going with B, the door knocker, and she is correct.
Wow. This is how you like to start a game right there.
That's right. Out of the gate hot with the door knocker. What? I think we should bring that one back.
Yeah, you see someone and you go, knock on my door, please.
That's right. Yeah. All right. That seems, I don't know if that's appropriate.
Okay,
But.
well.
All right, Doug, you're in the hole early. You're down 1-0. Are you ready to play?
Oh, I'm ready. Let's
All right.
do it.
Hit it, Walter.
All right, Poindexter. This silly alliterative phrase from 1880 meant smart or active. A, dimber, damber. B, coodle, coddle. C, even, ephus.
Wow. I can't wait to hear your thought process here because all 3 of these are dynamite options.
Yeah, dimber, damber, coodle, coddle, even ethos. There's no dude man chew in sight, Doug. What are you going to do here?
See, I don't really have a strong feeling on any of them. So I think I'm just going to go with my gut and say option A, dimber, damber.
Doug's going with his gut, and his gut is strong.
Ooh.
Dimber, damber is correct.
Doug's a dimber damper himself.
He's a
My
dimber
goodness,
damper.
what a choice there.
Yeah. I mean, coodle, coddle, and even ethos were both right there.
I know.
But he saw past it to the dimber damper. He did. It's 1-1. It's Who, What, When, South Carolina Public Radio. Daniel Thompson, Brandon Gray. We're playing a little game called Slanguage Arts.
That's right. It's Victorian week here on Who, What, When.
You said it. Walter Edgar is going to read us another clue from some Victorian slang. Angela, are you ready?
Let's go.
Hit it.
Cranky mate. This term describing a beautiful woman or Sheila started in Australia before becoming popular in England. A gaggle of geese. B, trifle of cake. C, basket of oranges.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. Gaggle of geese, trifle of cake, basket of oranges. Angela, what are you thinking?
Wow. I don't even know where to start with this one.
Well, let me try it this way. Which one would you be least offended by if somebody called you a gaggle of geese, a trifle of cake, or a basket of oranges?
Well, maybe a trifle of cake, I suppose.
Okay.
I don't think I want to be called a goose, but there's something about that. I'm gonna go with basket of oranges, actually.
She's going to go with basket of oranges, and once again, she's correct.
Dan, did you accidentally share the doc with them ahead of time?
I'm calling back in time to the Victorian era.
Yeah.
These two folks are actually in Victorian England right now. They said Kentucky and Indiana, to be kind. Angela's right. It's a basket of oranges, and she's up 2-1. I can't believe a couple of Dimber Dambers we got here. That's unbelievable. All right, 2-1. Doug, are you ready?
Let's do it.
Walter Edgar, take it.
Talk about the hair of the dog. This turn of phrase was used to describe men who'd had a few too many half pints down at the pub. A Pepsi poodle. B, a chi gone. Or C, arf, and arf.
All right, so we've got Pipsy Poodle, chi gone, arf, and arf.
Wow.
Arf and Arf sounds like a law firm. So
Arf,
I don't
and
think
arf,
we'll go with that.
Esquire.
At arf and arf.
I think the option that's calling to me is, again, option A, Pipsy Poodle.
All right, Pipsy Poodle is his guess, and we do have our first wrong answer. It is those fine attorneys down at Arf, and Arf, Esquire. The correct answer is Arf, and Arf.
That's right. Arf and arf, they might be good at their jobs, but they're also always half pint down at the bub.
That's right, at the bub?
Let me give it another try. Arf and arf, they might be a great law firm, but they're always a half a pint deep down at the pub. So it's tough. It's tough out
Slightly
there.
better. That's right. So it's 2-1. Angela's winning, and she has the board. Angela, a chance to take a commanding lead here.
Wow.
The pressure is intense.
Oh, it's mounting. That's what happens when we're playing for a fanny pack. Here we go. Walter Edgar, take it away.
Chip, cheerio. This London term that finds its origins in the late 1800s meant perfect, complete, or unapproachable. A, bang up to the elephant. B, ship shape, Captain. C, the moose is loose.
So it's
I got to be honest. I think all three of those options are perfect, complete, or unapproachable.
I wrote this segment. I'm going to take full credit, and I'm so proud of all of these wrong answers. Is it bang up to the elephant? Is it ship shape, Captain? Or is it the moose is loose?
Well, I think I'm going to go with A, the elephant, because I don't know how much the Victorian people knew about mooses. Meese? I don't know.
Mises. She is correct.
Wow.
A 3-1 lead. Unbelievable. Doug, you're down 3-1. The board is yours. Here's your clue.
Excuse me, sir. Do you have the time? This term meant smart, but in a high-class or uppity way. A, dinnered. B, afternoonified. C, high-teed.
Wow.
Is it dinnered, afternoonified, or high-teed?
I don't think it's B. 5 doesn't sound like something they would have said. I'm going to go with C, since I know they like to drink a lot of tea there, high tea.
High-teed is a great guess, but unfortunately incorrect, Doug. We're looking for afternoonified.
The one you thought it couldn't be, it is.
Afternoonified.
So maybe that's your clue moving forward, Doug. Whatever you think it can't be, it might be.
But also,
That's it.
Brand calls me afternoonified all the time. He says I'm uppity all the time.
He is.
All right, 3-1. Things are getting dire here. Angela, it's time. Are you ready, Angela, to try to make it 4-1?
I'm ready.
All right, hit it.
Say cheese. Show me them pearly whites. This phrase from the era meant someone who was always smiling. A, taffy tongue. B, giggle mug. C, guffaw jaw.
Taffy
boy.
tongue, giggle mug, guffaw jaw.
Gigglebug has returned.
Yeah, ooh. Giggle mug used
So
a
now
second
it's
time.
Yeah, is it really a thing? That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that you try to throw me off on the first one because it's actually a term. So I'm going to go with Gigglebug.
She's gonna go with giggle mug, and she is correct.
Angela is out here outthinking the room in the best way.
All right, Doug, let's gain some momentum here. It's 4-1. You can get to 4-2. We've got a whole other game to play. So let's gain some momentum before our second game. The last clue is yours. Wally Edge, hit it.
Shorty is a certified snack. No cap. If you were a young man out in the town you might describe the best-looking young woman as A, the jammiest bits of jam, B, syrupy pancakes, or C, buttered biscuits.
Wally Edge, certified snack, no cap.
I gotta be honest, I was just born in the wrong era. All of these seem like something I would say now. So I guess I'm just late. I'm not ahead of the times. I'm late.
Yeah.
This is a tough one, Dougie.
Jammiest bits of jam, syrupy pancakes, buttered biscuits, Doug.
I think this is too obvious, so I'm going to go jammiest bits of jam.
It is the jammiest bits of jam.
Wow.
He did
There we
it.
go.
That's a big pickup there, Doug.
And that, my friends, was our first game, Slanguage Arts with Dr. Walter Edgar, right here on Who, What, When. Thank you so much for playing, Doug and Angela.
You're listening to Who, What, When here on South Carolina Public Radio. I'm Daniel Thompson.
And I'm Brandon Gray. We've got our contestants, Angela and Doug, that are playing for that illustrious Who, What, When fanny pack. They're with us.
More games, more trivia about the Victorian era coming up this hour. After the break, it's going to be our rapid fire Victorian era quiz.
That's right, Dana. That's coming right up after this break here on Who, What, When.
Welcome back to Who, What, When, South Carolina Public Radio's hour of history, games, and trivia. I'm Daniel Thompson.
And I'm Brandon Gray. This week on the show, we're looking back at the Victorian era, which has, and say it with me, happened 1840 to 1900. That's right. Thank you, Dano.
Thanks for playing at home in your cars, everywhere that you're listening. If you want to join in on the fun, give us a call, 803-470-6347, or send an email to whowhatwhen@scpublicradio.org.
Dan, we had such a good time with our contestants, Angela and Doug, that we brought them back for another game. Angela, Doug, welcome back.
Hey.
Good to still be here.
Great. It's great to have both of you. This next game's called the Victorian Era Rapid Fire.
Ooh.
So there are some really crazy things that the Victorian era folks did, and we're going to go through some multiple choice, just like the last round. We're going to start with Doug this round. Doug, the first question is going to be yours. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Question 1. Women during the era used the latest in skincare technology, including this poison to keep their skin looking pale. Is it A, cyanide, B, cocaine, or C, arsenic?
I'm going to say arsenic.
You're going to say arsenic, and you are going to be correct.
Look out. Don't
He's
call it a
back on the
comeback.
board. What, did you know that, Doug, or what went into that there?
Well, I was thinking lead, and lead wasn't an option, so I went with C.
That always helps.
That's always helpful.
And this is true, Brand. Women in the Victorian era would nibble on chalk wafers laced with arsenic to keep themselves looking deathly pale. It was the fashion of the era, but also really toxic and really addictive. And you don't do any of that to stay pale, which is crazy.
That's exactly right. But I do take all of these substances. So it's we're all having a good time, aren't we?
A little light substance abuse here on South Carolina Public Radio. All right, Doug, it's 4-3. Things are looking a little bit brighter for you, but the board is Angela's. Angela, are you ready for your Victorian era rapid fire question?
Ready spaghetti.
Here we go. Your question. One of the most unsettling uses of the relatively new invention of the camera was the Victorian family tradition of family photos at the brothel, family photos at the crime scene, family photos with your newly deceased relative.
So to be clear, those are all weird things to do?
Yeah. Okay. And I don't know how many times I've told you to scrub your family photo at the brothel, but you keep putting it out there.
It's a good, I look good.
You look
it was
good.
my good
Yeah,
side.
It was a good side. You have a good jawline in that
I
picture.
do,
Not as
my
pale as
gosh.
normal. You were laying
No,
off the chalk.
It was the lighting.
Angela, which of those sounds right to you?
I feel fairly certain it's the photo with your recently dead relative.
You are fairly certain, and you are fairly correct.
How
It
about
is
that?
C. And we're not talking, Bran, about selfies by the casket. We're talking about a full weekend at Bernie's here. The families would dress up their dead relatives, sit them up at a location, and take pictures with them. And you
Bring
can go,
it back.
No,
Bring
no.
it back.
You can go find these pictures if you ever want to not sleep at night. The rationale was wanting to remember your relatives, and the camera was new, and so everyone was very serious about the pictures they took, and this was the way to go about it. So it made a little bit of sense back then, but now it is one of the creepier things I've ever heard
I
of.
give you permission to.
Dude.
You're listening to Who, What, When, an hour of history, games, and trivia from South Carolina Public Radio. I'm Brandon Gray.
And I'm Daniel Thompson. Today, we're quizzing you about general Victorian era knowledge with our contestants, Angela and Doug. So now it's 5-3. Doug, you got some ground to make up. Are you ready for your question?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Here we go. One of the highest points of women's fashion in the Victorian era was this particular hat craze, where women wore full-size taxidermized blanks on their hats. Ooh. A, rodents. B, birds. C, lizards.
This is a tough one, Doug.
This is a stumper. I think I'm going to go with A, rodents. I think that'd be easier to get than birds.
Okay.
Easier to get than birds.
Easier to catch a rat than a bird. Guns had been invented, Doug. The correct answer is birds, unfortunately. So, not a bad guess. I love the idea of these women walking around with rats on their hats. It's a rat hat.
It's a rat hat.
But unfortunately, the answer is birds. Taxidermy was all the rage in the Victorian era. You really should have lived there, Brand.
I know. You know me.
Women in Europe and the United States would fashion ginormous taxidermized birds on their hats. Go look up some pictures. It's a riot. At one point, the demand was so high for these hats that 67 species of birds were threatened close to extinction.
The Victorian era Kentucky Derby was nuts.
It was crazy.
Just birds.
Yeah.
Just lining the stands.
Bird hats.
Those horses were like, what's going on?
Was that a horse?
That was a horse.
Voice? All right. It's still 5-3, and it's Angela's board. Angela, you ready for your question?
I'm ready.
All right. One of the most lucrative and popular crimes of the Victorian era was A, grave robbing, B, bank robbing, C, pub robbing.
Wow. I don't know. I mean, okay, I'm going to say A just because that's where my head is.
To be clear, Angela, we're not accusing you of any of these.
No, this is from a long time ago. Yeah. We did not bring you on here for any accusation. That's right.
I'm going to stick with dead people, though.
You're going to go with A, grave robbing, and you are going to be correct.
I see dead people.
It's unbelievable. She's right again. She's on a roll. Here's the thing. Why would you rob a grave? Why would you do that in Victoria?
For the pictures.
No, but that would make sense.
Okay.
Medical science was advancing by leaps and bounds in the 1800s, and it was happening because of the utilization of autopsies and corpses. And so hospitals started to pay big money for dead bodies, and the fresher, the better.
I've always said that.
What happened was this crime became known as body snatching. You would go and in big cities during the Victorian era, folks would look to make some serious cash quickly, and they would go and they would dig up these bodies and they would sell them to the hospitals. Man, capitalism continues right into the grave there. So there you have it. Unfortunate, it is what it is. But Angela got it right. Doug, you're on the ropes here. Are you ready for your next question?
Talking about Kentucky versus Purdue, I need a 3-point question.
Yeah.
I'll allow it. This is for 3 points.
This is for 3 points.
This is for 3 points.
Wow. Here we go. Your question. The wealthiest members of Victorian society hosted some interesting functions, with the weirdest of them most likely being A, karaoke nights, B, 24-hour dinner marathons, or C, mummy unwrapping parties.
I do just want to state I'm personally offended that karaoke nights is included in a list of weird
karaoke
themes.
Nights in the 1800s.
It's never weird to sing songs.
You are a big karaoke boy. I understand. Got it. Doug, what are you thinking over there?
So I want to say that I might know this one, but it's a pretty dim memory in the back of my mind. I'm going to go with mummy unwrapping parties because of all the tomb opening and whatnot that was going on in Egypt at the time. I know stuff was shipped back to England.
I love this for Doug because he is correct. It is mummy unwrapping parties. This is crazy to me, Bran. Members of Victorian society would travel, and if their travels took them to Egypt, they would purchase a mummy. They decided this was the show of high class, is I'm going to buy a mummy in Egypt. Why? Not for decoration. They would bring it back, have all their rich hoity-toity friends over, and they would host a mummy unwrapping party when they returned, and they would all gasp and gawk at this ancient Egyptian casket. A lot of weird death stuff in the Victorian era. Starting to realize.
This is now big because it is now officially tied up, and I apologize, Angela. That was unfair to you, and I'm seeing that now. It is 6-6, which means this next question, the final question, can seal the deal. You can win it right here.
Yeah, here we go. Angela, the final question of the Victorian era rapid fire. This now staple of the holiday season was invented during the Victorian era.
Dead bodies.
Was it A, Christmas tree, B, Christmas cards, or C, Christmas cookies? Christmas trees, Christmas cards, Christmas cookies. Which was it?
All right, so it's a tough one. Surely cookies have been around for a long time. Christmas trees, I don't know. People had candles. They put them up in flames on the trees. So I'm going to go with B, Christmas cards.
B, Christmas cards. Angela is correct.
Wow!
And has won the game.
How about that? You're on fire!
Bran, did you know this one? You're a big Christmas guy. Did you know this one?
I think I could have gotten this one
You
right.
think so?
Yeah, I think I could have.
Christmas trees earlier, Christmas cookies later. Christmas
right.
cards, they were invented during this time, but you need to understand they weren't nearly as conventional as Christmas cards are today. No Santa Claus, jingle bells. We're talking insects that had come to life. Frogs, amphibians, classic Yuletide stuff.
Ah, yes.
Can you imagine getting a card?
I'm dreaming of a frog.
Anthropomorphized. That's exactly right. Angela, you did get it right. You did withstand the rule bending of Brandon Gray with the 3 points for Doug. You are moving on to our final round with a chance to win the fanny pack, but let's say thank you to Doug from Kentucky. Doug, a valiant effort, a 3-pointer from the corner.
I tried,
Bang.
Dougie. I tried.
Thank you for playing, Doug, and we appreciate you joining us here on Who What Went.
Yeah, no, appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me. Maybe I'm not as dimple-damble as I thought I was.
Or Giggle Mug, for that matter. Thanks, Doug.
You're listening to Who What When, an hour of history, games, and trivia right here on South Carolina Public Radio. I'm Brandon Gray.
And I'm Daniel Thompson. Today we've got games and puzzles all about the Victorian era. And coming up in just a moment, what could poetry from the 1800s and the lyrics of a certain modern-day mega pop star have in common?
It's a good question. Let's shake it off. We're going to head to a break and we'll be right back here on Who What When.
Welcome back to Who What When, a history game show from South Carolina Public Radio. I'm Daniel Thompson.
And I am Brandon Gray. Today, we are looking at that Victorian era and all their whimsy and frills.
I love how you said that, and that's incredibly right. Before we get back to the games and the callers, Brian, you've been working on a little something special for this episode, haven't you? I'm a little worried, quite frankly.
Have I ever, Dad? You know me. You know me.
I know how much you love the Victorian era.
I know. Specifically, the fact that it was an era of spiritualism. And to try to get into the spirit of spiritualism, I've put together a teeny tiny seance for us a seance for us to participate.
I didn't know you knew that word. Bran, there's a lot of stuff that you brought in here in the studio. It looks serious. Do you know what you're doing? Can you pronounce the names of these things?
I know what I'm doing. I've got my ghost goo, my Ouija board, my summoning spells, my incantations.
You say all this like it's just happy-go-lucky fun time.
I think it's going to be a good time. I think if you'll give me the chance to call one of these spirits in, I think you'll really enjoy yourself.
You're going to summon a spirit here?
I am indeed, yes.
All right, summon away.
Spirits unseen, heed my kin. Here we are on Who What When. Through veil and mist, come forth, draw near. Enter now, be present here.
Whoa! Do I hear a third voice?
Hello?
What the heck am I doing here? What?
Did you actually summon a ghost to the Who What When?
This is my first time, and I guess I'm pretty good at it.
Who are you guys?
Well, this is Who What When. It's a game show, South Carolina Public Radio,
That's right.
history, trivia games.
I'm
You get it.
Brandon, that's Dan.
Who are you is the question.
I'm a ghost. My name is Aldous Tisdale Salsa Verde. I'm a Victorian ghost from the Victorian Era.
Very fortunate. This is the Victorian Era week here on Who What When, and your name is Aldous Tisdale Salsa Verde.
Yes.
That seems really like a mouthful.
If you want, you can just call me AT. A lot of people do.
Okay.
All right, that works.
That works out well
AT,
for
are
us.
you with me?
Oh yeah.
We're here. We're strong. Okay, get used to
Is
it.
this a normal thing? You just get if you get summoned, you got to come, or is it up to you?
I don't get to choose as much. I can move little things, little bits.
Okay.
But normally, if I want to be this corporeal,
Yeah.
you got to call me.
And that's how
I
you
gotta
know
be.
corporeal.
I gotta be.
And can I ask you this question?
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
What's kind of like your deal?
My deal? Well, when I'm in the spirit realm, I'm just kicking back. I'm like the coolest guy there. Okay. But actually, my main deal. I love quizzes.
Oh,
I love quizzes.
You're just floating around giving quizzes to other ghosts.
They kind of hate it.
They
I'm
kind
not
of
gonna
hate
lie.
it. I
It's
bet.
not popular.
I mean,
it's not popular.
You're already stuck. I would assume the ghost is stuck between our mortal coil here and the heavenly realm.
Yes,
Okay.
it's confusing. There's a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of steps to
lot
get
of
between.
I also would have assumed that once you become spirit, you kind of just know everything. You're kind of no, that's not how it works.
No, you don't have to eat anymore.
No.
You can eat if you want.
So you-
but
you
you're
love it.
so you're full, but you still have to like learn.
I got to be honest. This is worst case scenario for me. I
yeah.
don't get to eat anymore,
Yeah,
and
it's
I
bad.
still have to learn.
You can
bad.
eat. You just don't have
You
to.
don't have
you don't
to.
have
Okay.
to. It just
But-
falls through you, Slimer style.
Slimer style. But you go around. So you
Slimer
have
style.
food falling through you, Slimer style, getting
Slime Time
sucked
Live.
every which way.
That's right. That was true. They got that right in that movie.
Yeah, they did. They got Ghostbusters right.
Yeah.
But you're going around to all the other ghosts who are just trying to have a good ghosty day.
Quizzing them.
And you're giving them pop
Popping up,
quizzes.
just shooting off questions at them. Yeah, no problem. I don't care.
So I assume since we summoned you here, and it happens to be Victorian week here on
Yeah.
Who What When,
Yeah.
do you have such a quiz?
I stay strapped.
Yeah.
Okay. I always got that thing on me.
Again, you're talking about the quizzes?
The quizzes.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Great.
Anyway, if you're ready, here we go. Number 1. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. This was invented in Milwaukee, Wisconsin in 1890 and was based on the QWERTY keyboard.
I think typewriter, and the reason I'm leaning typewriter, even though I think 1859 sounds a bit late for that, I thought it would be earlier, is the Shining quote: "All Jack and play and dull."
You've
and boring."
got it, yes. And I like The Shining, so I'm fine going with that.
Let's go
You know what? You know
typewriter.
what? The thing that he said there is based off of the QWERTY keyboard. So maybe you
now
know that the QWERTY
this is
keyboard
why
exists.
we work well together.
I know.
See, it's clicking in.
AT, we're going to go with
it's
typewriter.
Typewriter is correct.
Yes.
Christopher Latham Scholes, Carlos Glidden, and Samuel W. Soul.
He's got soul, but
The soul
he's not
man.
a soldier.
That's right. Yep.
yep.
Good job. 1 for 1.
All right. what do we
Number
got?
2. Move over, Lance. This was invented by British engineer James Starley, and the original model was called the penny farthing.
I got it. I do know a guy named Lance Wilds.
Okay. I know Lance's chips.
Okay.
Yep.
Does that help us at all?
I will say
Lance
this, when
Wild,
he-
Lance's chips.
And when he first said Lance, I thought of Lance Armstrong.
that's a good
But
one.
then I feel like a bicycle's been around as long as like,
Well, I think it's important to remember, Dan, that we're not trying to reinvent the wheel here.
not that nicely done.
Thank
It's
you.
really good stuff.
Thank you.
And
I like going with bicycle. I
on the
like it
strength
being
of that
Lance.
pun, I think we need to.
I think we have to.
AT, is it bicycle?
Bicycle is correct.
Oh,
The penny farthing was named after one big wheel, one small wheel. You know that real dorky one for losers? Can't even pop a wheelie on? Okay, number 3, you're 2 for 2. Mr. Watson, come here. I want to see you. A little thirsty. On March 10th, 1876, these were the first words spoken into this invention. Moms have been clamoring for you to use it to reach them ever since.
I know this one.
I actually think I know this one as well, and that's
for it.
saying something. I think it's the telephone.
it's got to be the telephone. We're talking Alexander Graham Bell. I mean, this is it. This is just change. This is a game changer. AT, show me telephone.
A little too easy, maybe. because telephone is correct.
That's right. Does anybody miss that in the ghost realm?
You'd be surprised.
How do people do on this
the
quiz?
cavemen?
Yeah, the cavemen. They don't have a prayer.
Those guys, they don't know anything.
They don't know anything.
They don't know ooga booga everything.
That's
okay?
right. Yeah, that bicycle question would have thrown him for a loop.
Ooga booga.
Ooga booga. Everything.
The actual initial invention of telecommunication wires was when the first electronic message was sent between Queen Victoria and James Buchanan and was transmitted over submarine cables.
Yeah.
Snoozers, am I right?
They laid
AT?
that cable. They laid that cable down there under the water.
That's right. What if we just lie under
That's
there?
submarine. That's what
Submarine.
it means, not
That's
a
right.
sandwich in this scenario.
That's right.
Anyway, number 4, you're 3 for 3.
I love it.
Before it meant psychological manipulation, we just had gas lights, just like regular old matter-of-fact gas lights. That is until this was invented in 1879.
Is it
Pilot light?
okay?
Is it maybe a pilot light, which wouldn't be invented? A pilot light's just something that has the flames always on. I know they added a fragrance to natural gas so you would know if it was burning.
What about electricity?
Ooh, what about an oil lamp?
Okay.
That's the oil lamp's been around forever. That can't be that, 1800s.
What about electricity?
Ooh, yeah. I like electricity because you have the whole battle.
Yes, so it used to just be gas lights.
But
Now
once
we can
again,
actually have.
I think, and this might be the ghost is throwing me off. He said invented. Electricity would be discovered, I think, for sure. So I'm going to go with electricity, even though it wasn't invented, it was discovered, to see if Ghost AT's got anything to say about
This is why I phrased it that way, because the answer is light bulb.
that. There it is. I almost said light bulb.
Obviously created by Edison.
I think if we had talked it through a little bit more, we would've
Yeah,
gotten
I
it.
didn't give Ghost AT enough credit.
Thank you.
I thought he had misspoken, and I was wrong.
I do this for an after living. Okay.
You do. You do.
Okay. Only
right.
3 for 4. Next one. Speaking of inhalants, prior to October 1846, if you were getting surgery, you'd be treated with opium or alcohol to deal with the pain.
Whoa.
Until this was discovered,
To deal with the pain prior to surgery?
like during surgery.
Okay. Because afterwards, like penicillin's a big deal, but that's in the 1900s.
During.
How do they deal with pain?
You get an anesthetic.
I
You
would-
get
you would think
something
so.
to knock you out.
Yeah. Well, what if it's like laughing gas, like some sort of gas
Okay.
that makes you feel certain things.
There's got to be something we're missing here. It's
or a good punch to the face.
an anesthetic. Let's go. I like it, Brand. Let's go laughing gas.
I'm going to give you this one.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
it is anesthesia. Okay.
Okay,
I'm
I
a
got it.
fair
Yeah.
ghost.
That's fair. You heard me say it, and we thought it had to be more specific. It was anesthesia.
Specifically, I'm speaking of ether. Super rad stuff, I gotta say. William Morton, a dentist, used sulfuric ether to anesthetize a man when removing a vascular tumor. You know, dentist stuff.
Dentist stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I always go to my dentist in regards to the tumor.
Absolutely. Okay, next up. When your parents told you to drink ginger ale when you had an upset stomach, they may have been onto something.
Oh.
In 1870, Schweppes, yes, that Schweppes, discovered quinine to treat this disease.
Malaria. I actually know this.
Okay.
It's malaria. Should I try to be
Locking it in?
I wouldn't have gotten there.
He's based upon his reaction. I might be wrong. I'm pretty positive it's malaria. Though.
Yeah, I'm just glad you can see me.
Listen, ghosts are tough to read, so.
We can do a little bit more hemming and hawing if you want.
No.
I mean, this is a big thing at the Isthmus of Panama. Is it malaria, AT?
Locking it in. Malaria is correct.
You betcha.
Boom.
Would you have gotten there?
No, I don't think I would have gotten there.
Yeah.
Originally derived from the bark of the cinchoa tree, quinine fits between the DNA and prevents cells infected by malaria from replicating. Fun fact, it tasted so bad that they would mix it with soda water and gin to hide the taste, inadvertently creating the gin and tonic, which is a disgusting drink.
Yeah, fair.
there you go.
Fair. They would give it to people working in the on the Panama Canal.
Malaria.
And
Yeah.
it was terrible for
But a
them.
little bit less disgusting in the gin and tonic than just straight up,
Now here we're moving into some of my favorites.
Okay.
We're 4 of 5. Now we're getting to AT's favorite section. That's cool.
Haters are going to hate. That's a given. I know that I have my fair share. This invention from 1857 taught would-be murderers a lesson when they tried to wring your neck.
Just real quick, again, what is your deal?
My deal?
Yeah,
I
don't
love
really-
to quiz. I
Yeah,
live
but,
to quiz.
It seems like you've made a lot of enemies. Like, I'm just picking
Hey.
up some of the.
This really helped me. I am dead now, but when I was alive, this thing really helped me.
You did quizzes when you were alive, too.
I was a pest.
Yeah.
A general pest.
So he said this thing would keep murderers from wringing your neck. So something to do with hanging or a noose, but an invention that would keep them from doing that?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like what?
Like a turtleneck? Like, what are we talking about
Yeah,
here?
that's interesting. A whistle?
A whistle. Ooh, I like that.
I don't know. Something that lets
I don't know
people
how that
know.
directly is tied to
I
wringing
don't
your
either.
neck.
My
You know
guess
what?
would be if it's a bad question, my guess would be like rope. Like
Yeah,
that
but
would be a
rope
thing.
was around a lot longer
Okay.
than
Okay.
that. But I got to be honest, Brent. I love how you're deducing here.
Thank you.
I think whistle's as good a guess as we're going to come up with.
The answer? The Garrett-proof collar. This is simply a collar with spikes on it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't know it
I
was an
should have gone with would you have accepted turtleneck?
Spiked turtleneck.
Spiked turtleneck.
I had one of
Okay.
these in every color, I got to say. People were
Yeah.
trying to strangle me left and right.
When you were on your grindcore, you just were all
Exactly.
about it.
Now I know. Can't outthink the room here. Whatever you think it is, like because we could
Yes.
have been like, okay, it would stop someone from ringing someone's neck.
right, yeah.
What a spiked collar.
Sometimes the
Yes.
clues are clues, and
Yeah.
sometimes they're not.
Yes, that's what we've learned. That's
here.
what we've learned.
Playing this game
Went with
Ghost
whistle
AT.
like a dummy.
Whistle had to be around for years
Yeah,
before.
it was
All
this.
right.
Here we go.
Two wrong. Next one. Doffing all day can work up a sweat, and our Victorian garb didn't help in the warmer months. This was invented to keep you cool so you could doff all day, milady.
Was it
Fan?
the fan? It's got to be the fan, right?
You would think so.
Teach me how to doffy. Teach me how to doffy.
We're gonna go with fan.
fan.
AT.
Fan?
I was a big doffer, so I personally tried to get a custom one of these. It's the air-conditioned top hat.
The what?
That's right. Specifically, it was called the bona fide ventilating hat. It was never put into mass production.
Okay.
It had holes in it. It was a hat with holes in it. I'm not going to lie. It was a hat with holes.
It's a hat.
It was a hat with holes.
Thank you for keeping it truthful.
AT,
for us.
is the Victorian era when you were a human?
Yes, correct.
Okay, good.
Many great discoveries, as we found out, but also some whimsy, some
whimsy,
goofs.
some whimsy, some goofs. No
Okay,
doubt about it.
last one here.
Last one. Here we go.
A person of high class and impeccable taste like myself would obviously, like I said, attract haters. Well, this invention, blurring the lines between hiking and hunting, helped me walk, look elegant, and stay strapped.
This is some sort of outfit that has a gun in it.
What about gun pants?
It's like a gun overalls.
Yeah.
Like a overguns.
Like a pant, like where the pant leg is a gun barrel, and then you just kind of go, whoop-ah. Yeah, like that.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, gun pants.
Go gadget gun pants.
Yes, we're gonna go with gun pants.
Gun pants. Final answer.
Gun pant is something, the pant cannon is what
The pant
that's
cannon.
what I tried to make. It didn't work. I'm speaking here of the gun cane.
The gun cane.
cane.
Oh yeah.
Sword cane, move over. Gun cane.
We were
new
so
one.
close.
Yeah,
It was created by John Clark Barnes in 1879.
Yeah,
that
it
was cool, huh?
Ghost AT, this has been a delight. I don't want to try to get you out the door, but Bran, anytime you want to come up with that spell that takes him back to the netherworld or wherever the heck he's from, whenever you're ready on that spell, this has been a blast, but also my time with Ghost is done for this decade. So if you could get him back to where he belongs, that would be fantastic. I'm starting to get a little creeped out.
Okay. Spirits, please go away. Come and play another day.
Come on, guys.
We've had a lot of fun on Who, What, When,
Guys.
but go back to where you've been.
Well, that was weird, Bran. You brought in a bunch of equipment and summoned a ghost. Can we try to return to normalcy just a bit and get back to the games where we have callers and everything? Can we do that?
I guess so, because we're talking about the Victorian era this week on Who, What, When. That is the era, once again, everybody at home, from 1840 to 1900. That's when Queen Victoria was ruling over the United Kingdom.
And if you want to be a contestant on this show, just give us a call.
Okay.
803-470-6347. That's 803-470-6347. Or send an electronic mail to whowhatwhen@scpublicradio.org. And we got the winner from our last segment, the victor of that game, Angela from Indiana. Boiler up. She is playing for the world-renowned Who, What, When Fanny Pack. Now, Brand, this game is called Swift History.
Can I just really quickly?
Yeah.
I don't contribute much. I just want people to know I came up with Swift History.
You're about to contribute big time here, Brand.
know.
People are going to see what you bring to the table
I
because
know.
in the Victorian era, a whole era named for Queen Victoria of England, there's another queen, a modern-day queen, that is known for her era, or should we say eras, because we're cool and hip. And that is Tina Turner. Sorry.
I think you mean Taylor
You
Swift.
think I mean Taylor Swift?
I think you mean, Shake It Off, You Belong With Me,
Yeah, Cruel Summer, so many
The
others.
Hokey Pokey.
It's a love story, baby. Just
That's
say yes.
exactly
That's
right.
A big part of the Victorian era was poetry, and poets like Alfred Lord Tennyson, Robert Browning, Oscar Wilde. Poems that had a lot of imagery and embellishment and sometimes whimsy. So in this game, we've got a few lines of verse, and they're either from a Taylor Swift song or a Victorian era poet. And Bran is going to sing them for us.
I know. I did bring my guitar. I would love to sing these for you if you don't mind. Dan.
I would love for you to be my privilege. Swift or history?
Okay.
Angela, are you a Swiftie?
I'm a Swiftie. Shout out to my friend Whitney. I'm not as much of a Swiftie as she is.
Okay, shout out to Whitney.
Shout out to
Whitney.
Are you ready to play Swift history?
Let's do it.
All right, Bran, take it away.
We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams, wandering by lone sea breakers and sitting by desolate streams.
I think that one's history.
She thinks that one's history, and it is history.
It is history. Old Arthur O'Shaughnessy.
Oh, my God. Arthur O'Shaughnessy,
Yes.
in his poem Ode.
Ode. I can say that.
You can say that.
I can say
you want to take
Ode.
that? It's
Yeah.
Arthur O'Shaughnessy with his poem
If memory serves, I think Ode.
Ode is correct. Yes. It is. You got one. That was really nicely done, Angela. Are you ready for round two here?
Let's do it.
Here we go.
Here, where the world is quiet, here, where all trouble seems dead winds and spent waves are riding doubtful dreams of dreams.
Wow, these are harder than I thought they would be.
They really are.
Yeah, I just want the simple Taylor lyrics, really. I think I'm going to say history again.
She's going to say history again, and she's going to be correct
Wow, this is good for you.
again. That is Algernon Charles Swinburne with the Garden of Proserpine. So you need 5 for the fanny pack.
5 for Fanny.
5 for Fanny. Hashtag it.
That's right.
Bran, take it away.
I'm like water when your ship rolled in that night. Rough on the surface, but you cut through like a knife.
Angela?
I think that's Taylor Swift.
She thinks that's Taylor Swift. She's right again.
How about that?
That is from the song Willow.
Yeah.
We all knew that here in the studio. All right, you got 3, you need 5 for the fanny pack. Bran, take it away.
Cold in the earth and 15 wild Decembers from the brown hills have melted into spring.
What do you think, Angela?
I'm going to say history again, I think.
She's going to say history again.
Yeah.
Has she missed a question?
No, I don't know if she's missed
Angela,
one all day.
Have you missed one? One in segment 1, I think? Is that it?
Yeah, I think so.
Man, Angela's she could come back for the Tournament of Champions.
She
We've
could.
not even announced
We
that
don't know
yet,
what that
but
is
yeah.
yet, but it sounds good.
That's right.
I'll be there.
She's a Denver Damber, and she's correct.
That's amazing.
That is Emily Bronte in her poem Remembrance.
Yes.
Remembrance. You're 4 for 4, Angela. All you need is 5 for the fanny pack. That's all you need. Bran, what do you got for her?
Here we go. We can plant a memory garden, say a solemn prayer, place a poppy in my hair. There's no morning glory, it was war, it wasn't fair, and we will never go back.
I think that's Taylor Swift.
She thinks it's Taylor Swift because it is Taylor Swift.
Amazing. She just won a fanny pack on Who What When.
Angela, you just won a fanny pack on Who What When.
Amazing.
Oh my goodness. The Great War, the song by Taylor Swift, leads to a great fanny pack for Angela.
And I got to be honest, almost a perfect game by Angela today. I'm starting to wonder if you have time traveled from the Victorian age. That's how perfect today was for you.
Angela, thanks for calling into Who What When here on South Carolina Public Radio, and congratulations on winning that fanny pack. And we've reached the end of this Victorian Era edition of Who What When, thanks to all our callers.
That's right. Our producer is A.T. Shire. Our executive producer is Sean Burge, who I think we would all agree is quite the Giggle Mug.
This show is a production of South Carolina Public Radio and made possible in part by listener contributions to the ETV Endowment of South Carolina.
If you want to be a contestant on Who, What, When, and why wouldn't you, give us a call at 803-470-6347. Once again, that's 803-470-6347. Or you can send us an email to whowhatwhen@scpublicradio.org.
And you can find out more about the show and listen to this episode again at our website, southcarolinapublicradio.org/whowhatwhen.
I'm Brandon Gray.
I'm Daniel Thompson. Join us again next week for more history, games, and trivia right here on Who, What, When.